Welcome to A Cult of Baddies and Books. I'm Romaine.
I'm Kira.
And today we are doing Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And this is the spoiler edition. For people who haven't read the book, please find our previous video where we talk about it without spoiling it. This is for the people who have read the book.
We gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
In the other podcast, we juked it out.
Yes. I think a 3.5 is fair.
Yes, I agree.
Now, where do we begin?
Okay. First of all, we love an independent woman. We love a strong, independent woman.
Absolutely. We're feminists to the core.
We stand by women. Would she shut the fuck up about being the best assassin in the world?
Ah, Lord. Okay, we're on a roll already.
You are 18 years old. You're a ding-dong. God bless you.
Okay, two parts here. First of all, why is she 18? Why is she... This book would solidly be so much better if they made everyone 3 years older.
Yeah.
It's more believable if she was 21. That's a good 4-year stint of being a great assassin. But I'm supposed to believe from 14 to 17, she was the world's what's it played? Ardalan's best assassin. From 14.
Stop it.
It's just... No. And it frustrates. She started training at 8. Do you know that at 8 years old, there were some people in my classroom that couldn't tie shoelaces? And I was supposed to believe that she's chopping it up in the desert. No.
Oh, man.
No.
This is, honestly, I think authors do this to find their feet and to find their, like Holly Black, children's author, young adult author. Now she writes adult books. Like, I appreciate it's a journey of being an author. But if she rewrote this book from an adult's perspective, I would buy it.
It would be so much better.
Yeah, I just think it would be a little bit more believable. And once again, maybe we're not the target audience. But it's just, honestly, those are the bits that kind of made me cringe. Like,
yes. Some
parts of this book where she's like talking about, like, I'm the best at this. I've killed the most men.
Yeah.
Oh, and she says, I'm a whore. Because she sells her skills for money and she kills people.
Yeah, and I'm like, no.
Cut it out.
And like, again, I understand that yes, the horror comes from the fact that she was so young when this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like this book would have been better if she was 21 years old. It just would have made it a bit more believable.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would have lost your younger audience by making her 21. They still would have found her an interesting character.
I wonder if there's a book rating system and maybe they want them to be rated for a certain age group so they can market to those people. I'm not sure if I'm missing the... Or maybe... I don't know. I do feel like these kind of books are getting more popular. I feel like back in the day when we read this kind of books, we were a niche audience.
Waterstones had 3 shelves.
Yes.
Dedicated. And that was... I used to go directly to the one section of Waterstones.
Yeah.
And that's where the books were at.
And do you remember they used to have the pictures on the back of what they included?
Remember there was a... Yeah. There was a publisher that had like a little chili.
They
used to show the spice rating.
Yeah. And then it would have like the swords crossed for violence.
Yes.
Something. Yeah. And it would... Yeah. So maybe... I don't know. But that honestly... Because that made the book a little bit less believable in some bit. Obviously, the whole thing is unbelievable, but I would have bought it more had I not been so cringed out by some of the things.
Yeah, and I think that rolls into the second issue, which is specifically when it comes to romance, this book is so PG, and it just does not work with how violent this book is. Like, there are scenes of gore, broken limbs, dislocated shoulders, unfortunate trigger warning. They talk about one person being raped.
Mm-hmm.
There's
even the treatment of the slaves, like that is really like hard hitting things.
500 of them get wiped out,
and the scars on her back and stuff. Like, it's so brutal. But like, she won't hold someone's hand. I'm just confused. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's so PG in comparison to everything else, and I don't see how you can publish it as a teen book with so much violence in.
Yeah, I suppose that, yeah. But you know, people are funny about things.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, so the violence, so it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so speaking of romance, are you team
Chaol? Obviously, don't even ask twice. Dorian As soon as
Okay.
I remember I voice noted Romaine like she better not end up with Dorian.
Right. So technically, I'm team neither of them. Yeah. But if I had to choose, the reason I am picking Dorian... I knew it myself. The reason I am picking Dorian...
Tell me why.
Is because Cal is a bitch.
What?
He's a bitch. Also, I know his name's not Cal, but that's how I'm saying it. What's his name? Kale.
Well, that's how the Kindle people, the Audible people say it. I was saying Cal.
Right. I was rooting for Kale, right? Until we got to the ball and he was just like, he was too bitch to ask her to dance. That's then watched his friend just waltz her around the whole place. That is then true. I was slyly back on his side. He went to go defend her when things went down. And then he had a mental breakdown for 2 days because he stabbed a man and you're supposed to be captain of the guard. Okay. You're not man enough for Selena. Don't do it. No.
I do agree. I see what you're saying. But Dorian was tooting about giving her puppies and sweets. Kale was training her.
That's his job.
I don't think that was his job.
That's like saying you should fall in love with the personal trainer because he's the personal trainer.
No, but wasn't that Dorian's job?
Nah, Dorian don't do shit. That's
what I mean. Dorian don't do shit.
But we know that. At least you know what you're getting with Dorian. Dorian's not a fighter, but she's like the world's best assassin, so she don't need a defender. Dorian was spending time with her. They were reading. They're playing cards. Cal literally just whined for 350 pages.
He kind of did whine. There's something about Dorian I didn't really vibe with. He just seemed like spoiled.
He is,
and just a bit. I don't know what. I just was Team Kale. I just really I felt like Kale was actually making moves to help her.
Yes.
Dorian was just tooting about.
He was, and like I said, in an ideal world, would I choose Dorian? No, but I just found it really hard to be like, yeah, Team Kale, because there were just every time I was like, you know what? Actually, he seems like a better option. He would do some dumb shit, and I'd be like,
He does do dumb shit
all the time.
I will say the bit when he killed the man, and he got really upset. I was like, Captain.
He fell to his knees, bro. They had to carry him away. He was so tore up, and I'm like, but isn't this your job?
But I feel like that's the problem with this whole book. They're supposed to be like these super successful, accomplished, violent killers. But you're crying over killing. Like, who let you be in charge of the castle?
Exactly. You're 22. You're not qualified.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the king's guard.
Literally.
And you can't kill someone.
You're supposed to kill on command. You're supposed to defend the king.
You're going to hesitate. I'm not having you.
You know 100% he'd hesitate. The only reason he didn't hesitate is because it was Selena. If it was Dorian, I think he would hesitate.
I do like the friendship between the two boys, though.
Yes.
I do really like that. I feel like, even though I feel like they're going to drift apart.
Yeah, you can see it. They're already...
The jealousy.
She turned up and they instantly started drifting apart. It became a rivalry. Yeah. And I feel like... How strong was your friendship? Because I know she's beautiful, but like, really? The two of you just separate because she turned up?
I also feel like they could have just had a conversation. Like, one of us is going to get this. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Also, on that theme, right? I kind of feel like, reading this book again, that Selena was never really about Dorian. Like,
no, I don't think she ever liked him either.
Yeah, like, I think she was seeking comfort and Dorian was giving her that. But reading it again, I think you kind of realise that she was just enjoying the company and the closeness. And it was kind of doomed from the start because, again, as a prince, he's never going to marry the assassin. Mm-hmm. She was never going to become a queen or a princess or whatever you would call her. That's not her future. That's not in the stars for her. So what relationship did Dorian think they were ever going to have?
I do agree. And also, I think she just needed a friend. Mm-hmm. And Dorian was more friend vibes. Mm-hmm. I feel like she needed someone who could keep up with her.
She needed an ego boost.
Yeah. I didn't think of it. I meant like keep up with her. Like, if she's going to go on secret missions, she needs someone to come with her on her secret missions.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. I think Nehemia was that.
Yeah, Nehemia. But Kale as well. Kale could at least keep up on a secret mission.
Man. He would kill someone and fall to his knees.
That is true. One thing that annoyed me was you shouldn't be owning a pet.
Why are you mad at the dog?
Why have you got a dog? You can't look after this dog.
What's wrong with Fleetfoot? Fleetfoot. I mean, it's really a nothing in the book, to be honest, but
Like,
Fleetfoot's fine.
Honestly, I have pets. It's hard work.
You have an issue with Fleetfoot?
Yeah, because when you have a pet, you can't just up and leave. You can't be fighting battles. You can't be slaying people. You can't be out all night. The pet needs fed at 6 o'clock. If I'm late to feed my cats, they come and get me.
But I feel like the dog just spent most of its time in the little... Not the stables, that's not the right word for it, but you know what I mean.
In the dog kennel.
Really, did she even look after it? I don't think she even fed it. I think it just came and chilled with her at night.
I see what you mean.
It was just another little companion. That really wasn't nothing. It didn't need to be in there.
Yeah, irresponsible pet ownership, guys.
No,
that's...
Feed your dogs, everyone. Okay, right. Can we get on to... Oh, actually... Can we talk about Cowtane, Perrington, and the King?
Fucking Perrington.
Perrington
is like the ugly sisters, but a boy, and not in Cinderella.
He
just gives me that vibe.
He's giving me creepy old man, hunchback.
Waistcoat.
Yeah, but you know what? He played Cowtane. From the beginning to the end, he was playing her.
I almost felt bad for her. A little bit of me felt bad for her.
I know what you mean. In that last scene where he turned around and he's like, "What's that vial you have?" And she realizes she had just been used for his bidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you mean. A little bit of sympathy fell in. However, for 95% of the book, Cowtane is a villain.
Cowtane is a villain.
The way she thinks, she's like, I must do everything to protect my crown. It's good writing because I hate her instantaneously. The first time we see her, she's walking along in her nice little coat with all her like ladies in waiting, and like as soon as she talks about, oh, what is it? I need to look good for the prince. You just instantly hate her.
That's true.
And every time you see her after that, you just hate her more. And it's just really well written.
Yeah. She even has a bad guy name, Cowtane. I knew, like, that's a bad guy name for a girl anyway.
I really thought, it's giving masculine.
It is.
Like, it doesn't, it's not, like, I feel like it's almost like a mythical version of Caitlyn or something.
Yeah, we've got Nehemia, Selena,
Cowtane!
Like, you can tell the author didn't like her.
Instantly.
In the bin. Yeah, Duke Perrington, evil. The Queen, what a nothing fucking role. The Queen. And the evil little brother.
She was literally there in order to give Cowtane someone to talk to.
Yeah.
The Queen did nothing. The brother is literally an afterthought. Unless I feel like he's one of those characters that may might be important later on.
I agree. I have a theory that the King is not Dorian's dad.
Okay.
Because they were saying something about the eye colour.
Well, he has blue eyes, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently that doesn't run in his family. He doesn't look like his brother or his dad or his mum.
Okay.
I don't think, but maybe I haven't finished the series or anything. This is just, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that's his parentage.
It's possible.
Because when she mentioned it, she said something about their line looks like this or something. And I was like, he's not the dad. Because you know how they make a big deal out of I don't want to give anything away. But they're like, Selena has blue eyes with a ring of gold.
Oh, yeah. The eye colour does end up being important.
Yeah.
It does.
So, I don't know. Although, my mom's siblings all have... No, 2 of them have blue eyes and 2 of them have brown eyes. So, genetic diversity.
It really is. It's luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you mean. They do go on about the blue eyes quite a bit.
They do. So, I think Dorian, that's not his dad.
I can see that.
I really wish the Queen had more going on as well. Like, you're the queen of this big empire, and what do you do all day? You try and marry off your son.
But let's be real, the king is in his own... I don't even know what he's doing, his little empire life. He's just...
I can't imagine them getting it on. You never see the king and queen interact.
No, they don't. They never interact.
I don't know. So, who else do you want to talk about?
Okay, so I'm just writing stuff now. Okay. Another little bugbear of mine. At the end of the book, when she's fighting Cain, and Nehemia is like, hey, use the staff. so that they know that I can't pronounce it. Was it the Elohim? Where's she from?
Elway.
Elway. Thank you.
Eelway is how Audible says it, I think.
The Eelway.
Eelway.
Okay. So when she goes to Selena, use the staff. Let them be beaten with the Elway staff or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I rolled my eyes because in my head I'm like, you really gonna give her this little piece of wood?
A twig.
The twig. Essentially, it's a twig. I don't care if it's been strengthened. Twig versus sword. She
Yeah.
should have taken the sword. And the thing got chopped in half. Like,
I did think when he got chopped in half, I was like, you just signed your friend's death.
Literally. And in my head, I understand the significance it's meant to play.
Yeah.
But this is actually a stupid decision.
I agree. And you're supposed to be laying low in front of the king. Like, obviously, we know you're going to win. Now you're going to win with stick.
With stick? Why are you trying to up the difficulty?
And why was her forehead glowing?
Again.
And the word marks the whole way through. I'm like, what are the word marks? What are the word marks?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, I know, obviously they're very important, so they're going to have to come up in the next book.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how there was like the hint of there's going to be some magic.
Oh, yeah. And
but like, you don't know how, like, it really left so many questions, this book. This whole idea of magic, in the beginning of the book, magic is gone. And then there's a little bit of magic.
Immediately read the next book. Immediately downloaded. No gap in between. I'm now on book 4.
Yeah, Kira has no chance.
I have no patience. We reread Cruel Prince. I was like, oh, now I've got to read the second one again. Just because, but that's just, so it is like that. This series is really good like that because you're like, oh, what about this? What about this?
Mm-hmm.
And it does get more complex, I think, as it goes along.
It does.
Because there's more and more characters.
And I have a lot of questions. So some of the questions I wrote down as I was reading it. How did the black rings work? What happened with her parents?
Yeah.
Why did Elena choose her?
Mm-hmm.
If the king is pro-Kane, why did they even bother having a contest? That's sort of a con, actually. Because part of me is a little bit like, he was so on board with this Perrington-Kane business.
Yeah.
Why did we have a contest? The contest was literally pointless.
And how did Kane learn about the word marks?
I'm assuming through Perrington.
The Navarak. Yeah, fucking Perrington.
But again, I don't understand.
And
again, what's the point? Then just choose Kane, and why are you bringing all these 27 or however many there were people into a contest? It just felt like pointless. Oh, another question. There's no magic, but the ward marks actually work.
Yeah, that
like
doesn't...
someone needs to explain this, and I know it has to come up in the second book. Oh, and then in the last, I think it's like the second to last chapter, Elena says to her, "Blood ties can't be broken."
Ooh.
Which implies that Selena and Elena are related. And so that's why we have to read book 2.
I'm sitting here trying not to muddle up the books I've read. I'm like, Romain, did this happen in this book? Did this happen in this book? I'm
that's
sorry.
a difficulty.
Okay, Nehemia. I liked Nehemia as a character.
Yes.
And I liked how, at first, I was like suspicious of her. Then I was like cool with her. And then I was suspicious again. And I feel like you were sitting on a line where you were like, ooh, what's going on with this?
I think, to be honest, I think it was only like a little bit of the book where I didn't trust her. That scene where she turns around and she speaks in perfect English. And she's like, you're just a bigger fool as everybody else. That was the moment I was like, oh.
Nehemia is evil.
Yeah, that really flipped it.
That was, because at first I was like, okay, this is too much. So we've got the assassin here from another county or country or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now we've got this lady from this other country. She's evil. She's spying for the king. But then they became friends. And then she speaks and I was like, oh, she is evil.
Yeah. It really throws you through a loop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, but she comes good in the end. And I like that. I love the fact that they have a real true friendship. Yeah. You can tell they're going to back each other now.
I'm going to be on some... She's on some dumb shit in book 2. Sorry, she is. I'm not giving any spoilers. I just think she's stupid in book 2.
Maybe.
Sorry. Okay, we've done the Black Rings. We've done Chaol and Dorian. Duke Perrington. The king gives pure evil villain.
Yeah, he does.
I know he's trying to conquer the world or whatever. It's a bit much. I want to know more about the king. So I can understand why he's like this. Like, is he corrupted? Like, like, is there something going on with him?
I feel like everybody got development besides the king.
Exactly. Like, we don't know why he is this evil.
Nah, he's just pure evil. And I get...
How did he remove magic? Why did he remove magic?
Yeah, I feel like we know nothing about him besides the fact that he's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this book isn't about him, but like, I feel like we got to know so much about Dorian, so much about Nehemia, so much about Kel, so much about Selena in terms of their personality type. And the king is kind of like a nothing. He's just evil. I
completely agree. And in my head, he's really hot. So I want to know more about him.
Why is the king hot?
You know, he's the evil bad guy. He's going to be hot.
He's the king. Why is he hot?
Do you not see him as hot?
Nah.
Oh, okay. In my head, he's Rhysand.
Man, in my head, he's like Henry VIII.
I didn't have that at all. Duke Perrington's like Henry VIII. In my head, the king's like this strong warrior, defeating lands.
In my head, like, he's Henry VIII and, like, Perrington is, like, his little skinny friend, like, with a hunchback.
We were seeing this the complete opposite way around.
I don't know what kind of king you're seeing.
In my head, he was, like, this strong king, and I'm like, why did he turn evil? Maybe because his wife cheated on him, and Dorian isn't his son.
You really went in there. You created a whole subplot for the king.
Yeah, he hates magic because he couldn't use magic to save the world. I don't know.
I really don't think... I haven't read the 7th book, but I have a horrible suspicion you're going to be disappointed because I'm sure that's not his reasoning. I think he's just evil.
It's going to be stupid if he's not evil for a reason.
I think you're going to be disappointed. But who knows? I am just guessing.
Oh, I would have liked to have known more about the Ridderak and the realm where it came from.
Yeah, like, well, they kind of talk about he's summoned it. And he gets killed. And I know what you mean. It's like, is it going to get addressed in the next book because she killed it and then we just moved on?
That's the thing. If I just killed a demon, I'd be talking about it.
Yeah.
I'd want to know more.
Yeah, and she never actually discusses it with Nehemia, the one person who she probably could talk about it with.
One of my favourite parts is when she's first leaving the salt mines and one of the soldiers says something bad about the forest and she was like, no, that's Brennan's forest, the king of the Fae. She's like, mind your tongue. And then the next morning she wakes up with the flowers at the end of her bed.
Yeah.
And the little footsteps. And I thought, oh my God, I wish there was a bit more of that in this book. Like a bit more of finding out about things like that.
Yeah. But I think there is a promise that it's still about and it's still alive somewhere. On that topic, one of the kind of key things about Selena is that she has this wild spirit and the whole moment that she broke in Endovia. Am I pronouncing that?
I think so.
I'm going with Endovia. But the whole thing of she had accepted her fate. She didn't think she was going to live and she basically tried to kill all these people on her way out.
Yeah.
And I know I'm nitpicking. But really? You got all the way to the wall? This place is guarded up. Like I know we're adding to her character and I know I'm just picking on stuff. But
this is the whole cringe thing about her.
Yeah, and again, the idea that she like survived a whole year in Endovia through winter with no clothes and shoes and living on one slice of bread. Like, I feel like even though, yes, she went through trial and tribulation, when she says that, oh, most people died within 3 months and she made it a year, it's like, on what? How? Did you have a new food source? Like, I understand that she's a strong, resilient woman, but how are you outliving people by 3 times?
I will say that might become clear in the next book.
They never give that as an explanation, though. We're assuming because Miss, what's her name? Sarah J. Maas never actually gives that as a reason.
That's true. We're debating. I think Remain's right. It doesn't actually become clear.
Yeah.
I have just cobbled together some assumptions.
She never fully explains.
Okay, so you don't actually find out so far where we've read up to why she survives in the mines.
No.
Oh, I also loved Philippa.
Oh yeah, she's a cute character.
Maid. She was just great. She was just kind and like she was helpful. She was a vibe.
She was, yeah.
So
I don't think I have anything to add about that. I don't think there's anything else, to be honest with you.
No, I feel like we've covered everything. If you think of anything that we missed, please put it down in the comments and we will reply with our opinions.
Also, please tell us if you're Team Cal or if you're Team Dorian. And then I'll tally it up and see who's right.
I just knew in my soul. This is the first time I'm hearing from Romain's mouth she was Team Dorian. I knew.
Also, okay, side note. I kind of feel like this is Sarah J. Maas's first attempt at Reese.
Why? Which one was Reese?
Nah, I'm talking about from A Court of.
No, I know, but which one was giving Reese to you?
Dorian, I feel like, was like he was the Timu version of Reese.
Timu, you did actually say that in a voice message.
He's given weak Reese, but I feel like I can see the similarities, and I think when she went to go write A Court of, she just took the idea of Dorian and made him better.
I see what you mean. Kind of.
Which is why I think I have a bias towards Dorian.
The kind-hearted king who likes books, but he's a pussy. No, I'm joking.
And that's why he's the Timu version.
Yeah, but I just don't like how he doesn't really stand up to his dad.
Yeah, he is. He's a bitch. And yeah, like I said, in an ideal world, Team No One.
Yeah.
But for these circumstances, we'll say Team Cow, Team Dorian.
This is big spoilers for future books.
You can't put it in!
I'm gonna put it in. Big spoilers for future books, but I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not really, so far where I am in book 4, happy with the current love interest situation. That's all I'm going to say. Romain is...
I am.
You know, me and Romain have a different type, though.
We really do. And it's so apparent by who...
Yeah. Okay, but there's that. But that's not... I'm not really giving nothing away. So you can't... I can just say I'm not happy with something. So 3.5. 3.5.
I think it's solid. It's interesting.
I would say read the next one. It gets better.
It does get better.
More interesting. Well, book 2, Romain says, is slow. It is a bit slow, but book 3 really picks up.
Yeah.
And book 4 is good.
Also, massive pro for the whole thing. It's a completed series. So if you need some like good reading, you got a holiday coming up, there are 7 books and they are all done. It's finished. You will get to the end. And
you know, sometimes on Audible, where the person narrating the story, their voice is so jarring it upsets you. That's not the case.
Anyway, guys, that has been Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, spoiler edition. Thanks for listening. I'm Romain.
I'm Kira.
And we will catch you on the next one. This has been A Cult of Baddies and Books. I'm Romain.
I'm Kira.
If you can, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps us out. And we will catch you on the next one.